my Poe costume last year actually won a prize. It was at a place in Sedona called Let's Dance, which is, since then the building's burned down, or next to it's burned down and has been condemned. I was able to get a prize last Halloween. They said, now the best prize wins a dead body. And I sure enough did. It was a frozen turkey, and I couldn't. So, this little piece I'm doing this evening is something I wrote when I was doing a weekly newspaper column in Sedalia a number of years ago. And I entered the piece in a contest that was being sponsored by an editor named Sarah Morgan, who put together a collection of essays by Missouri women called Exposures. And it's one of 24 pieces that were chosen to be printed there, so I'm proud of it for that reason. It's called Tractor Parts. It wouldn't surprise me if a scientific study confirmed something I have long suspected. Most women on psychiatrists' couches are farmers' wives whose husbands have sent them to town for tractor parts. For most of them, it begins the same way. She is standing innocently at the kitchen counter, rolling out pie dough and minding her own business. Without warning, the screen door groans, and the grease-covered maid who storms through it, leaving a trail of hay and caked mud even Hansel and Gretel would envy, groans louder. "We can't bail until we get a new one of these for Dad's old Alice," he says, handing her a disfigured blob of metal. "But if I don't stay here and rake, we'll never beat the rain." The woman draws a deep breath and rips off her apron. The pie will have to wait. Her husband's fate and the quality of civilization as she knows it are clearly in her flour-sprinkled hands. To make matters worse, it is 11:39 a.m. Saturday, and the implement dealer closes at noon. Her car is sitting in the driveway with a flat. "You'll have to take the pickup," he says with a toss of keys. "Come on, you can do it." She is not so sure. After all, the pickup has a standard transmission, and she doesn't do standard. Her left foot is not designed to operate a clutch. Her right hand is for holding a glass of iced tea, not shifting gears. It seems to her that stick shifting requires an inordinate amount of work. He shows her first gear in reverse and sends her lurching toward the blacktop. "Just shift when the engine sounds different," he calls after her. "It's a cinch." By the time she gets to the first curve in the road, she has already suffered serious whiplash. The pickup snorts, and she hopes she is just imagining the smoke. As she jerks out onto the highway, she mulls over alternate routes, trying to figure out which one has the fewest stoplights and absolutely no stops on an incline. Mercifully, God grants her oblivion and performs a miracle. She finds herself at the dealership at 11:59. Unfortunately, her ordeal is not over. The implement dealer bumps into her on his way out the door and grunts impatiently. "Can I help you?" he asks, but she can tell that he doesn't really think there's any hope. "I need a new one of these dealy bobs," she says, handing him the mass of grease and metal. He studies the item and leads her to a row of bins full of shiny new dealy bobs. "Is your tractor a model XYZ0203 or an XYZ0204? he asks, or something along those lines. Of course, she has no clue. She was, after all, about to flute the edge of a pie crust. Tractors aren't her thing. Recognizing his inquiry is futile, the man says, "It's probably this one." Throws the new dealy bob in a sack. "If it's not, you can bring it back on Monday." Yeah, if I live that long, she thinks, getting back into her bucking bronco of a pickup. She imagines she sees the dealer sneer as she drives away in little hops. It's a good day for miracles, and she makes it back home, where her husband is just coming in for lunch. She hands him the sack and makes them both a sandwich. The part fits. The sandwich hits the spot. He is pleased with the events of the morning. "Thanks for making that trip to town," he says. "And now, I guess I'm ready for a piece of that pie." He stares blankly after her as she abandons her lunch in mid-sandwich and makes a dash for the door. In a flash, she is hippity-hopping once again toward the blacktop. She traces the floral brocade pattern on the psychiatrist's couch with her fingertips. "Don't tell me." "Let me guess," the doctor says. Your husband's tractor broke down again.